if you have Facebook or Twitter, or you are a consumer of the trashy, twisted news, Canadian media, Globe and Mail, the corrupt Broadcasting Corporation, crappy TV, also known as CTV, even the National Post to a certain extent. But most Canadian mainstream media is deliberately and viciously trying to start, I won't say a race war, but they're trying to divide Canada along racial lines. And black people are their main target. And I gotta say, I'm insulted by it. I'm pissed off at it. And this is basically a warning, not just to all Canadians at large, but minorities, especially black people, black folk in Canada. Don't start jumping up and down and getting angry like a dancing circus monkey just so these white establishment liberal media folk, these globalists, can have their agenda, their bidding done. Because I've noticed, I'm on Facebook and I see all this, like CTV's constantly talking about, oh, this man had a Confederate flag on his property, on his private property. I'm not saying I like the rebel flag. I hate the rebel flag. I don't like it. But, you know, the guy had it on his property. They say this man had it on his property. This man had it on his car. This man has been caught with a rebel flag on his shoulder. And I'm thinking to myself, if you're going to continue to talk about people with the rebel flag, you're going to have a very miserable life. Now, I used to live in the Deep South, okay? I was born a Canadian. I used to live in the Deep South. There's rebel flags all over the place like dog shit, okay? It's all over the place. And most people will say they have it just because of Southern pride. Some people will say they have it because they're racist. As far as I'm concerned, I've seen the rebel flag so many times, it doesn't even bother me anymore. I don't believe that the rebel flag should be on public property. But if you have it on your private person or in your yard, that's your business. If you could put I don't care what you put in your yard. You could put ISIS on your yard. I don't care. I really don't. It's your yard. And CTV's going on saying, oh, rebel flags are popping up all over Canada now. Canada's becoming racist. I saw an article in the Globe and Mail just the other day, a few weeks ago, saying that most black people in Toronto feel marginalized and targeted. I'm thinking, who did you talk to? Who did you talk to that you came up with that? Listen, I can tell you this right now. I don't know how you asked the question to the black folk or to whatever. I can ask questions in a way that make people answer it the way I want to be answered. And then I can twist it around and say they all feel marginalized. My point is, the media, whether it's corrupt Broadcasting Corporation, crappy TV, Globe and Mail, National Post, the trashy crap that they have in Canada that they call media, all of it, trash, dirt, scum. They are trying to divide Canada along racial lines. They're trying to get black people and Asian and Jews, everybody, all mad and angry and riled up and hyped up. And they want tension. Because if there's tension between minorities and whites, white folk and minorities, then that works in the favor of these white, liberal establishment people. And I say white, liberal establishment people like Trudeau and Wynne and these people in the media, George Soros and all these people, they are trying to have tension between minorities and whites, which is one step closer to a race war. Because then they can come in and say, there's so much racism in Canada, and all you white people are so racist and mean, and there's rebel flags everywhere. You have to vote for me, and I'll stop it. That's how they get their power. Divide and conquer. And then you elect a liberal or a socialist government, and your situation only gets worse. Because the economy goes down, taxes go up, and basically you're just stuck in your little, and we've never had that sort of thing in Canada. I've never seen, like in America, America's far gone when it comes to racial division. America is a racially divided country, 100, and that's the thing I hate about America. I love both Canada and America, but one of the things I hate about America is how racially divided the country is. Now, I'm not saying everybody hates one another, but it is divided, and they don't even know it. I used to work at an amusement park, and I'll never forget this image. There were like about 3 bus stops, because the bus would come into the amusement park to pick up the workers and other people to go into the city. And it's so strange. And I was living in Buffalo at the time, actually. And it was Darien Lake. I used to work there. And there were all white people in one bus stop, talking to each other normally, blah, 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 texting, all this sort of stuff. Not deliberately. They just happened to all be white in the one bus stop. And another bus stop, all black people. Everyone was black. Everybody, no white. It's like, it's strange. And it wasn't done deliberately. It wasn't like, there wasn't segregation. They weren't segregated. It's just that blacks and whites in America are so uncomfortable around each other. And they don't even know it. They don't know that it looks bad. I've lived in Canada for a long time, and I live in the GTA. You see whites and black people talking like there's nothing. Like, it's just like, oh, whatever. Like, seriously, I've never seen so many racially mixed marriages in all my days. Seriously, I would think I landed in a damn rainbow pit. It's so diverse here. Seriously, I see people wrapped up Muslim type of people talking with white blonde-headed people. And that's good. You know, that is, in a sense, that's good because people are comfortable. Me, I can talk to black, I can talk to white, I can talk to Chinese. I don't care. I've lived around. In fact, in some ways, I'm more comfortable sometimes around whites than I'm black because I've always lived in areas where it was mostly white, except now where I'm in the GTA, it's just everybody. So I'm comfortable around everybody, but it was so strange. And the liberal white establishment in this country, and I say white because there's no black establishment, black establishment, Chinese, it's white, it's establishment. And it's whatever, George Soros and all these people, all these establishment people, the left wing, white left wingers are trying to have that racial division here in Canada now because it works in their favor so that they can give blacks and Chinese and Indians a reason to vote liberal or socialist and, you know, have something to be against those nasty white folk over there. Because in America, it's so hard to find a black person who is a conservative. You sooner find an alien from outer space than find a black person who's a conservative. Here in Canada, there are many people. In fact, to be honest with you, most minorities that I know are conservative leaning because they're very traditional. Like Chinese people, Indian people, they're more conservative because that's their culture. They're even more than white people because they're more conservative minded than the whites here in Canada who are very tolerant, blah, 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 and this and that. Indian and Chinese, they're not like that. Except if they go to America because it's almost like, if you're a conservative in America, you are a traitor to your race. Everything is about race in America. And that pisses me off about America. It's such a stupid place when it comes to race. Everything is about race. In Canada, if you're conservative and you're in black or in whatever, who cares? It's just whatever. But they're trying to bring that here. So my warning to you, if you're a Canadian, don't fall into this hype from the media. If you see all this race stuff, you see about most of these racist attacks that I'm seeing, I'm not saying that they're not real, but just remember, another weapon that liberals and socialists are using is they disguise themselves as racist and they do racist things in an attempt to make it look like there's a huge racist stuff happening. So a liberal or a lefty or even a black left winger will maybe write a swastika on a black church, and then people find the swastika and they say, oh, it's like another white person, another white cracker redneck has attacked us now. Look what's happening. But it was a liberal all along. So don't fall into this hype. Look, Canada should not go the way of the damn United States, which is so racially divided. Racially divided. I love the U.S. to death. It's a great country, but it is a racially divided country, and it's sad. And I do not want Canada to go that way, because seriously, that's just going to be another piece of, if that happens, Trudeau and Wynne and all these left-wing politicians and establishment people are going to have even more power over the minority people. They're going to vote in droves for liberals and socialists, and their problems are only going to get worse because liberals and socialists don't do. The only thing they're good at is making people comfortable in poverty. They're not good at getting people out of poverty. The socialists and the liberals, they are good at making people comfortable in poverty. So you're still in poverty, but you're going to be comfortable. They'll give you benefits, they'll give you this, they'll give you that, but you're still going to be in poverty. So there can be no hope for minorities who are in poverty. You're going to stay in poverty. You're actually going to stay there like the damn coon porch monkey you are, because you can't think for yourself, and you think that the lefties are going to be all for you, and they're just making your problem worse. Whereas, you know, if you think for yourself and you don't fall into this hype, then these lefties won't be able to divide us and then conquer us. Something for you to think about. Honestly, I don't even listen to Canadian media anymore, because it's all BS. It's all twisted news, Trump hating. And I'm not saying y'all have to like Trump or anything, but I'm saying don't just get sucked into this narrative that Canada is becoming so racially this and there's all this, you're under attack. And I don't feel under attack when I'm in Canada. I don't feel under attack at all. I don't feel marginalized. I don't feel nothing. Yeah, I'm not saying there's